It's actually quite interesting, and then it's just like, but if you try and like do it with intent, like, okay, then it becomes stale or it becomes stiff.
Exactly.
It's sort of going to be on the fly.
Exactly, it's got to be on the fly.
Now tell me, what happened to Garcia today?
No, we hooked up with Skype, and then, we had such a good flowing conversation into the 25th minute, and suddenly I glanced to the bottom left corner and I see the record button as sort of stopped. Then I tried it again. A couple of seconds later, I see it's because Juan's phone kept I don't know if it was his phone, but somehow his visual kept freezing.
Yeah,
I've never had that before with Skype. Suddenly, the whole thing froze again, and so when we reconnected,
it doesn't work that well in that way, man.
Yeah, so I just reconnected it. I think it's the whole phone thing, and so I reconnected with Juan. I said, like, listen, something's going awry here. I'm not capturing what I want, and then he was like, damn, no. Then let me sort out my laptop, and so we scheduled for Friday now. But we had such a good conversation. We talked about Agent Steel, his older bands, Abattoir, and then.
But just from a tech point of view, because I'm going to try and help you with as much as I can here. But 90% of them are Skype.
Well, I've opted now for Skype because you don't get capped. Zoom always caps you at about 48, and it's like really stupid. I've always felt stupid telling people, let's reconnect, let's just cut off and reconnect again and whatever.
No, if you pay for Zoom, you don't.
Yeah, I know, I should probably, yes. I knew that was coming. We'll see. Germany is not, after all, such a first world country in that sense. But that's commonly known. It's very dire internet connection.
Look, you gotta, don't be too harsh on the Germans. Remember, they've suffered greatly since World War I, and they've got a love for that. They've got a love for potatoes and pork. So they're very simplistic people, eh?
Yes, indeed. Yeah.
They like the basic comforts, like lederhosen and what do you call those braces that they wear over there to keep their pants up, and beer.
But now to get back to that channel, that was, what was it called again?
Reaper something.
Reaper, was it Reaper? Okay. Because I remember this logo, Into Darkness, something like that.
Reaper YouTube. Something about Reaper. So Reaper Productions.
I'm a visual person. I always think of the logos or whatever. So there was something about Into the Darkness or something, and it had Mike Browning.
Look, they got a really nice setup. I mean, that room they sit in is actually with all those pictures at the back and all that stuff. Fuck, it just looks like
didn't he once do it with his girlfriend? I don't know.
Reaper Barney. I was going to type beat. Barney's videos are fucked up. He had his face right in there.
Yeah. I'd say it should suffice to say.
Yeah, and you know what? I've watched so many interviews with him, and people really. It's Reaper Metal Productions. That's the channel.
And Barney said that it suffice to say that.
Yes, it's suffice to say, I used to be an old punk, and Shane used to come and fucking this and this and that. He's very difficult to understand at most times. I was quite amazed that the fucking Americans understood him. But he did make a point of speaking very slow.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, we listen to all sorts of music, Swans, early Swans.
I did enjoy Barney. I know the band. He never lived with the band. Shane and everybody got a house together. Him and the American guys and what's it name? It was like the Napalm Death House. And I watched an interview with Shane. He was going through all the memorabilia they got in that house. It's fucking incredible. But old Barney never lived with them. Barney was always like on his own.
On a different tangent, yeah.
Yeah, because you remember Barney was he's still, and it comes through in all his interviews. He's still a punk by heart. He's very political, anti-political, and And it's just, like he's always outspoken about shit like that. He's not like just a fucking yawball or something like that. He's got
he is always very outspoken, and yeah.
So, but what I like what they doing, they do these demo tape fucking reviews, which I think is fucking brilliant. I cannot believe that they. How do I send this to you now? That people are still releasing, or are these old demo tapes that they are doing demos, videos of? And I think that's fucking cool.
But it's interesting. It's like that FOAD records, Fuck Off and Die records. They bring out all these old demos. I mean, almost unlistenable stuff sometimes, but it seems to be quite a cult thing.
But you can't release a tape anymore, surely.
No, look. I mean, maybe they press 50 or God, and it's a limited thing. I don't. It's really a niche market. But the fact that it's digitally available and you can listen to it, that is quite cool.
Exodus live in San Francisco, 1983, full concert on tape.
Yeah. Look, I was never I don't like bootleg shows. I can't listen to it. I mean, it's like, go to the show.
It was a big thing in the 80s, eh? Fucking
yeah.
Bootlegging tapes.
It was big. I remember going through like bins in Cape Town even, and they had this like Manowar bootleg live, blah blah blah, and I was kind of like, who listens to that stuff? I can't, I'd rather just put on the album, because most of the time the sound quality was terrible. And obviously nowadays with technology and phones, you can probably have the new Megadeth record in high quality, in high def, but yeah, it's weird. That never struck a nerve with me, but a lot of people seem to dig that.
I think if you're a total fan, you want even all the bootlegs off the band.
Probably.
That's the way it used to be in punk days, so I don't know if it carries into metal, but I think if you're like a Manowar fan and there's some bootleg going around, you'll collect it because it's like you want everything. Oh, fucking... what was that producer's name? Scott
Burns. Now, in my eyes, a legend. I mean...
I did watch that. One shame, and he was so soft-spoken.
Yeah, he's a really... He strikes me as a very kind dude, very cool. I just think he got flattened by that whole thing. It just got too much.
He got old, bro. I mean, fuck. I mean, this guy's been doing this for donkey time years. And
but he says it in the interview, I think, that it just got too much. And he was just like... Because everything was just measured... I can imagine it. We want to sound like Deicide, and
I see it with Nocturnus too. AD. 1 hour 32 minutes with Mike Browning.
Yes, Mike Browning. Yeah, Mike Browning as well. That was actually the first ever interview I've seen with Mike Browning. Amazingly, because I'm a huge Nocturnus fan.
There's a band that you never did. Oh, you used to love this fucking band, Incubus.
Yeah, they were quite cool.
I remember you bought a record from me with
that Beyond the Unknown.
Yes,
with that spectre on the cemetery or whatever. They had to rename themselves because of the more mainstream Incubus.
Yeah, I had to shut the shop down because when Johan stopped buying records, there was nobody else buying records.
Oh shit! And Peter.
Actually,
what was it, Peter?
The two people who bought records from that shop that I remember,
I think it was
you and Shukri.
No, not Shukri so much. I think it was Peter.
Peter.
Yeah, he came in quite a bit. Peter, a big headbanger, always in front of the stage. He ordered a Sinister from you, and he bought a couple of things, yeah. But Shukri not so much.
You know what? Johan.
Shukri was always happy with a copy on tape.
Yeah, but you know what? I've got absolutely, completely, 100% zero blank in my brain from is that how did I get those records? That I cannot even answer. I don't fucking know. Look, I remember in the punk days I used to send.
No, but Total Chaos.
But with Undertone Records, I have got zero recollection of where I got my records from.
Total Chaos.
Total Chaos.
That was the lot that they had a distro going on in SA. And somehow Total Chaos, correct me if I'm wrong, weren't they involved with Napalm as well?
Was a South African company.
Because I remember, man, I've got the ticket stub somewhere still of the Napalm gig. And it says something Total Chaos Promotions. I'm sure of it.
Distribution.
I will have to go into the cellar to find that.
Total Chaos Authorized Dealers, Fabricate, Total Chaos. Doesn't ring a bell at all, eh?
And then at some
I must have ordered, and they would post the shit to me. And
then at some time I remember going to James's shop in Johannesburg, and I remember they had a lot of Nuclear Blast stuff.
Oh, they had fucking lots.
Yeah.
I don't know how I managed to find the money to order the records. Maybe I'd still owe them today. Who knows?
But you had like this is now the cool thing. I go to the artist store or raffles, whatever, and there sits a Monstrosity record. There's a Sinister record, and I've got an interesting story to tell about that Sinister record. I remember dropping at Artie's. My girlfriend dropping me off there, and so I knew I could party from 3 p.m. to 10, whatever.
6, 7,
yeah, whatever. And I remember seeing that Cross the Sticks album by Sinister, and I was just that cover. I mean, I was like, that's mine. And yes, but as soon as I had my ledger done, like alcohol versus vinyl.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I still have money down for that LP. So I go back to that little crate, and that fucking album is gone. And I remember, I don't know. No, it was a proper vinyl. And I don't know if it was you or Stacey, but somebody said like, no, that went to some girl.
You gotta be kidding.
Some girl's name. And all I thought was like, who the fuck is this chick? I want to meet her. That listens to
your fucking brain is way more wax for memory.
Yeah, no, I was like, who's this chick that listens to?
I don't even remember taking records and stuff to sell there.
You had it.
Yeah, a recollection of that.
You had it. Incantation and fuck, all those bands. No, it was Pungent Stench.
All I remember is the shop used to be on the 2nd or 3rd floor, remember? And it had like this wooden paneling. Mm-hmm. And I had some sort of counter, and then I think I stuck the records on the wall or some posters on the wall, and then I had like beer crates with some of the records in. Or crates.
Exactly, crates.
And then there was a door on the right that you walk through to the back room.
Yes,
we used to practice.
And that's where then us and Gunk would jam. Rest in peace, Cyril.
I actually don't even know A, how long I ran that shop for. It couldn't have been very long. B, I can't remember what the rent was, and I wonder if I actually paid my rent. I must have. It was like, well, I don't know. It must have been at least 3 months, or I don't know how long it was there for. I have no fucking clue. I've got zero. The only thing I've got of Undertone is I've got this little printed flyer, Undertone Records, with some names of bands on it. Black and white. Fucking thing.
Yeah. No, it was amazing times. It was quite cool. And now and then, when you weren't there, I would like sort of just, I don't know if you gave me a key or something. I have no idea. And I would have off times from the college, and I would just go sit there and doodle stuff. And then now and then, some souls would pop in. And
it was in Rubik Street, Rubik Street. It was opposite the base, the club, the base. I think, like sort of opposite-ish there.
Yeah. What I'll never forget is I played Voivod's Dimension Hatros 20 million times at that. I had some sort of craze with that album. I just listened to it non-stop. It was a very rainy season as well. It was like really, Cape Town was always like misty, foggy. I still have that.
Yeah, I don't think the shop lasted more than 6 months. I think that might be max. I'm speculating now because I don't really have any recollection of it. I mean, I don't even know where the fuck I would have. Okay, I was doing my computer IT shit. So I might have had a bit of money here and there, but I don't even know how it came about. It's like totally blank from my brain. Totally fucking like blank from my brain.
But interesting, really interesting times.
I mean, I wouldn't get sitting from fucking 8 o'clock in the morning till 5 in the afternoon. I remember that.
Yeah. And then recording the Necrosis demo at Undertone.
Yeah. And we sold 120 Paradise Lost tickets. 120 Paradise Lost tickets, which wasn't fucking bad for Cape Town. I wasn't selling them in Joburg. There was no internet in those days. You couldn't sell them online. I remember they sent me posters and all that shit.
I remember us driving with the white Ford and hanging up posters. I remember that, like it was yesterday. Yeah, and all that sticky goo everywhere. It's just like kind of But yeah,
DIY, bro.
And I remember being so nervous. I was like thinking, "Fuck, man! I've only played with you guys for so long. What did we have? Like I had 2 shows under my belt with you, and then next is Paradise Lost. Oh well, then."
It used to be, especially with me and Stuart and Doc John. I mean, we would drive in the middle of the night. We'd print like 1,000 A4 posters, and with a pot of glue, and we would just fucking get in the car, drink beer, all the way from Cape Town, all the way down that main road, Rondebosch, all the way to Muizenberg, and just fucking stick posters in the middle of the night. Every gig, bro, we used to fucking go and do that shit. I mean, it wasn't hard. It was actually fun to do, but I mean, compared to what people do today, we did a lot of work. Fucking me.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean,
just quickly on the Paradise Lost thing. Can you remember where the gig was supposed to be? Because I've got no
Yellow Level
memory of it. At UCT. Jeez.
Yellow Level Hall.
I didn't even how I would have organized that. I was very good at getting people to fucking agree to shit in those days.
Yeah, but now maybe now if that's a mystery, maybe you can help me on this one. Now, as you know, Johan goes back to Namibia, starts Arakana, and suddenly this good friend of mine, Christian, says, "Johan, are you ready to go to South Africa?" And I said, like, "What for?" And he says, like, "Well, Dio is playing." And I was like, Dio is playing South Africa? And he says, "Yes, my friend." And then he showed me the fucking advertisement. It was in Bike SA. And it had Dio, the big logo, and then it had underneath opening band Jerusalem. And the first thing I did was like look in the internet, which was still young. The internet was still young.
Yeah.
And true as Bob, a band like Jerusalem exists. I mean, like they were probably the neighbors of Nazareth. And I was just like, Jerusalem, you fucking yanking my chain here. And I've never heard them. To this day, I've never heard music by Jerusalem. But anyway.
Dio was going to play in Cape Town.
Dio, yes. Not only Cape Town, Joburg. And man, somewhere I probably still have that poster. That little, not poster, but A4 advertisement from Bike SA. Probably somewhere still.
The 2 that I've got that also both never happened was with, what's a Dutch fucking band? Epica.
Yeah.
And VOD. VOD and some other bands. Epica, that never happened. We were going to get paid 150,000 rand or some crap to play that gig. It never happened. And then the biggest one of all, I've got posters of us with Judas Priest when they were going to play Cape, and he was going to open for Judas Priest. I don't know what happened to that. But I've still got the poster somewhere. Paul's got it definitely.
Yeah, but now hear the rest of the story out. Christian and me go. Now what did we do? No, we got everything arranged. We fucking hell. We ordered the tickets. We got sorted and now hold on.
Oh, what?
Yes, now hold on. And I said to Christian, listen, I'll be at your place. This is not the day before. And that evening, I still call him up and say, listen, I'm going to pop over your place tomorrow morning, and then we head south. Because for us, it's like 1,500 k's.
Were you going to drive down?
Yes, of course. And then Johan goes to work quickly, just to pop in and say, hey, man, I'm going to hit the road. And everything was arranged. And I just decided to gooi on the net there, because there was no, like, check the net on your phone kind of shit. And I go to that post and then cancelled.
You already bought the ticket?
Luckily, I saw that. We bought the tickets now.
Fuck, I never heard of that, eh?
Dio, dude. Dio.
In Cape Town?
Yes! Cape Town, Joburg, Pretoria.
When was this about? 2000?
Fuck, and it must have been 2002?
6.
3? Around there? I'm guessing. It's a long shot. I
It must have been like big concerts or one of those fucking...
I don't know. I haven't thought about this for ages. It's only popped up tonight. Really weird.
So you never got your money back?
We managed to get our money back, yes, we did. So it must have been through a vendor, some sort. I don't know. Christian handled all that, because he actually, when he approached me, he said, like, listen, I bought 2 tickets for this thing, we're going. And I'm like, oh, thanks, cool, man. So he got it all back.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, but that's...
So you would have played, like, you guys could drive like 18 hours, what's it, from Windhoek to Cape Town? That's like... What,
for nothing. But Christian and me, we had that history. It was a running joke with us. We also went... now he lived in Hanover, and we wanted to see Morbid Angel. And to this day I haven't seen them. But that was in their, like, good days.
Yeah,
and fucking hell. Him and me, we, like, amped. We had a boozing session, like, ramping ourselves up. And then, because it was on the way to the venue, Christian said, like, let's just go to this vinyl shop, man. Let's have a peep. I want to see if it's still there. I used to go there in my youth. So we go in there, we hang around, and then we talk to the people there that run the shop. And so, what are you doing? You're not going to Morbid Angel tonight, are you? We're like, yeah. Fucking hell, we amped, man. Well, it ain't happening. Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
So we were like,
it happens, I mean, it happens. Like,
yeah, it happened. But we were, we were so disappointed. We got back in the train and, back home. And,
Well, I don't know. I remember I saw Morbid Angel, I think it could have been either at the Brixton Academy in London or at Shepherd's Bush Empire. And we were living in Acton at that time, which was from the Shepherd's Bush. It was probably about 2 to 3 k's from there. And like the fuck about it with the band, nobody wanted to go out at night. And I got bored at night. I wanted to go see bands and shit. That's what you're in London for. You want to go see gigs and shit. So I would always sponsor Nick or fucking whoever. Never Paul, because he was hardly ever there, because he was always in South Africa. Dickon was not interested. So I would drag Francois out. And I have to admit, bro, it was one of the worst gigs I saw in my life.
Mm-hmm.
That Morbid Angel gig was so, I don't know. It must have been about early 1996 or mid 1996.
Was it with David Vincent or already afterwards?
Yes, the only guy that I knew of Morbid Angel was the vocalist and what's his name? So But it was luster.
Lackluster, yeah.
And then the week after, I took France to go see, of course, his favorite band, which, but it's his fucking band. Why would Greg go watch fucking Wasp? I mean, really? Why?
Yes.
I mean, it's not a band that Greg would go out to. I'll go watch Exploited or something like that.
Yeah, well, Wasp was definitely a Francois Johan band, so I'm also a Wasp fan.
Yeah. So I remember he fucking enjoyed that. Get me to watch Wasp and I'll go watch Morbid Angel with you. And yeah, the Morbid Angel gig was fucking terrible. And I think the second most disappointing concert I ever saw in England is when I went to watch Sisters of Mercy. That was at the Brixton Academy. Jesus, it was. They were like a skeleton of what they were used to be. Now Two of them on stage. The drums was programmed. There was no drummer.
Yes.
That chick always sings with them. She wasn't there. It was just
Patricia.
Everything else was programmed. It was fucking disgusting. And then, luckily, a month later, I went to see Nephilim, which was one of the best concerts I saw at Brixton.
Now, this is a lot. What I've heard a lot in Germany when Sisters played. A lot of people were very disappointed.
Yeah, they just don't. They don't put it off on. They don't put it off live. They sound shit. They don't look impressive. It doesn't feel big. It's like you got to be a real fucking heavy Sisters of Mercy fan to even enjoy it. It was. And look, I love Sisters of Mercy. I always liked gothic music, and I was fucking. It was like I remember going home thinking, "Fuck it," like It was one of the most disappointing concerts I saw in my life.
Amazing, eh?
The most impressive concert I saw in my life was Cathedral.
Oh, Greg, were you actually there? I think Beergut took me, but you weren't part of the fold. And they opened for Motorhead.
No, I didn't see that.
And I was actually there for Cathedral, and they were great. But that night is when my transition to Motorhead happened. I was just like, before I couldn't really care about Motorhead, but man,
this was in London.
That was in London at the Forum, and man, when I saw Motorhead that night, I was converted. And then I just bought most of the albums.
I never saw them.
I think I've seen Motorhead about 8 times. Yeah.
I've told you the story with Cathedral. I mean, it's actually for me it's one of my favorite memories because it's something so innocently that you don't realize how big the world is, and you arrive in London. Within the first week, all I had was this business card that the manager of Napalm Death gave me. Okay, and he says, when you come to London, I said, we're going to London. I'm going to London, and he says, well, come look me up. And he gave me a business card. There was no phones, bro. Fuck all.
Yeah.
Nothing. I didn't have a cell phone. Fuck all. When I left, I left with like £500, which was in that day 4 to 5 was like 2,000. It was like £200, 5,000 rand, which was like £200, some shit like that. So I checked and look. I'm now en route to London, bro, and it's like. His offices was in Brixton, which I know was a black area from punk days. So anyway, I managed to find my way across the tubes, and I fucking got off this Brixton railway line, and then I just walked down this road. And when I finally found his office, I walked upstairs, and they were sitting in a jacuzzi in his office, in a jacuzzi. No, I'm not shitting you. This is the truth. And he immediately recognized me and said, hey, fuck. And I can't remember what the conversation was. It was like, I literally had been in London by that time for like, none of the band was there. It was just me and Stacey, but she didn't come with.
Hey, Greg, this is what I do with your money.
So he says, fucking, look, I'm young there. So I'm like, I just to be surrounded by fucking manager for Napalm and all these. I think he managed Cathedral at that time to Lidori and all these guys. And we had a chat. I can't remember what it was about. We had a couple of beers in his office. He says, hey, by the way, you want to come to the gig? And I said, what gig? He says, no, like at 6 o'clock, I'm fucking off down to the old Clink, which is an old where they used to lock up the prisoners in the 1800s, 1600s in the suburban tunnels. It's a club called the Clink. It's actually a museum. And Cathedral, Lee Dorian, they were launching an album there that night. Of course, Greg says, fucking, let's go. I was new in London a week. There's this fucking suburban taverns, like arches and fucking skulls everywhere, like real skulls from the Clink, where people who died there. And there's a stage set up, and there's a party, there's fucking booze. Man.
Oh, man.
I had just a party with Lee Dorian that night, dude. Yes.
Yeah, but what a cool dude. I mean, he runs, I think he runs $20 Spin, that album, that label. And, but I was always a big Cathedral fan. I mean, I remember us watching in Acton or East London. Yeah, I remember us watching Witchfinder General. And what I always loved was that Tony Iommi type of guitar. Gaz from Cathedral had that sound, no? Oh, man.
But, I think the reason we gelled, because also that people I don't know if you know that, but Lee Dorian was also an old punk.
Mm.
He came from the punk scene too. I mean, them and the early Napalm Death, Extreme Moisture and all those bands, they all came from the same stable in Birmingham. They were all old fucking hardcore, what you call crust punks now, And I mean, didn't Lee Dorian, wasn't he involved with Extreme Moisture in the beginning, or one of those fucking Heresy, or one of those bands?
I don't know. I think it was always just Napalm, huh?
Yeah, it could have been Napalm.
No, it was just Napalm. He was the vocalist on Scum and from.
Yeah, he's 56 years old at this stage.
Yeah, from Obliteration, from Enslavement to Obliteration. Sorry, tongue breaker there.
Yeah, look, you're right. He was part of the early Napalm Death.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so look, he used to promote punk bands. Like he said, Dorian was editor of a local punk fanzine called Committed Suicide. This led him to become a local punk producer during the mid-late 80s, bringing bands such as BGK, Amebix, Anti-Sec, Negazione, Anti-Cymex, Disorder, Heresy, the Verucas, Conflict, Concrete Socks. And this is how the manager of Napalm Death spotted me. Because I wore a Concrete Socks t-shirt that night we played with Napalm Death.
Okay.
And both him and fucking Shane was like, fuck, where did you get that shit? They were like mates with those bands, and they were so surprised that a South African bloke is wearing a Concrete Socks fucking shirt. And that's why he gave me his card. That was the only fucking reason, I think. It's like, but I mean, Lee Dorian. Fuck. Look, I'll be sincere with you. Look, I was not in at that time. I was very into death metal, and I didn't particularly enjoy the music at that time of Cathedral. I mean, now as I got older, I enjoy it more. But at that time, I actually didn't like the music.
No, I loved it from. But Tommy, Greg, was a club called Intrepid Fox. Was that something known?
It wasn't a club; it was a pub.
Okay.
I had a T-shirt. Unfortunately, look, that's closed down now.
No, but it was never. But it was never a live venue.
No.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah, I got it wrong.
No, the big clubs at the time, which was my dream, always to play.
LA2.
That's London Story 2. We played London Story 2.
We played there,
and both the stories.
Forum.
But it was the 100 Club.
Marquee closed down.
The Marquee. Look, that gig we organised with Lee Dorian, I'm convinced actually it was at, it was a total dream of mine for VAD to play at the Marquee Club. And it was called the Hammersmith Odeon. Because I used to watch bands like fucking SOD and all those bands play at Hammersmith Odeon, and for me it was the ultimate fucking dream. But in the time that I waited for the band to arrive and the band arrived, those clubs closed down.
No sleep till Hammersmith, eh?
Yes. I mean, there was one gig I watched at Hammersmith that blew my brain away. I think it was either Anthrax or I'm not sure if it was Anthrax or SOD. I can't remember. No, it wouldn't have been SOD. I just loved that venue. It was like, it was hell-bent in punk history, the 100 Club, that, and the other place, what was it called? All those clubs closed down in the time it took for Paul and them to arrive. And remember, they arrived right at the end. So, I brought Stacey over, then I brought Stacey's sister over, and I paid for her fucking ticket. She stayed 2 weeks. She couldn't handle London. She fucked off back out, wasted money. Then I brought Nick over because he was in cuck. He was smoked up on dope in fucking Malawi, and he was in the hospital, lost his passport. He was like delirious. So my mum asked him, can you bring him to London? So I brought him to London. Then Dickon came over, and Dickon joined me. And then about 8 months later is only when the Blommies arrived. Yeah.
Yeah, but fucking hell, what interesting times, man. We had such fun.
Yeah, we did. You know what? Actually, the other night after I watched your interview with on Into the Pit with what's his name? I went on a retro trip. I went to watch the whole Mark Bass one again, from beginning to end.
Oh, okay.
And then I watched the whole Paul Blom one again, from beginning to end.
Oh, okay.
And I have to admit, Paul's a friendly guy, but it really amazes me how distorted their chosen recollection is of how things happened. And I just get that feeling in me, like, think, fuck this. You guys have got a total fucking different warped idea of how things actually happen, bro. Like, honestly, like,
yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, like one of the statements he made was something. They were talking about Innes Records and even old Vassar, the infamous Innes Records. Yeah, but Paul went into a bit more detail about that. Okay. I saw on the Innes Records publication that they're using a distributor in Germany called Morbid, which I then faxed, and I still had the faxes. Paul still got. Well, I gave him all the boxes of faxes many years back as the custodian of records. But yeah, anyway, I wrote to all of them first, and I ran up a fucking phone bill with Nick in my house, living in Greenpoint, of like those days 4,000 rand.
Greg, I remember us talking at Atkinson with Olaf, and I had to translate.
I never lifted a finger to write a fax or a fucking message or send to a record label or nothing, bro. Not zilch. So I just get this push feel when I watch it like that. I think I'm so dying to set that record straight, but is it really worth it? Nah, it's not really worth it. It's, in fact, what's the point?
Yeah, I guess. I mean.
But I do admit, I actually joined the Paul interview again, although the signal between you guys was terrible. I don't know how long ago that was released. It was like 2 years ago or something. At least he's always smiley and friendly and gentle spoken. And you must actually go watch that again, bro, because you know what you guys spoke about a lot in that interview.
Yeah.
It was about re-recording the Black Cathedral. I think about 10 minutes of your conversation was around that.
I know, it must have been. I need to re-look at that. Yeah, you're right. But, yeah. It just goes to show. But, oh man.
Free chat.
If you listen carefully to my interview with Anke or Philip Nell, you caught my drift. I mean, aside from you were the only one that sort of were for a second guitarist, and but for the rest, I always felt like persona non grata. So,
I actually know you're raising a point, because I remember Paul saying distinctively that Greg wasn't feeling comfortable with playing guitar on his own. And I thought, fuck you, bro. Because I had played guitar on VAD for, by that time already, 10, 12 years of fucking playing guitar.
Yeah, it was a very polite way of putting it. But
the point was, when we started writing songs like Beast is Born in a Religion, they were written for two guitars. Yeah, you can play it on your own, but it doesn't sound the same. Yeah. You don't have that fucking rhythm going off in the background while there's some sort of slight lead breaking. I mean, a song like If I Had a Soul, you can't play it with that same heaviness with just one guitar. You have to have two guitars, and they never understood that because it was written for two guitars.
Look, I mean,
because we started writing songs like "Beast is Born of Religion" when you and I were both in the band, so they were written for two guitars.
But for some reason, I mean, and you saw it up until recently, where where the discussion came up of doing even a Trojan horse thing, but whatever. And someone like Dickens says, like, well, it's going to be a 4-piece or whatever. Obviously, with recording, you can double. Yes, that's understandable. But it's the kind of attitude. It's just kind of,
Well, ironically, after
we're man of war.
Yeah, fuck man of war.
No, whatever.
Ironically, after we had that conversation, I actually started playing some Trojan horse, which I actually now I'm struggling to remember half the fucking shit, but. The reason I was trying to do it was to see what the time changes was. So it starts off at 80 beats per minute, then it goes to 120, and then. So I was just trying to work out like the time tempo changes that you would require to like put a sort of maybe a click track down to capture a song like that. Like the slowdowns, that da-da, you can still play that within the 80 beat. I mean, you just play it half pace.
But it's work.
It's a lot of work. I was just like, fuck. Then, I tried to do blade instrument, and even there, it's like, there's so many time changes. It's like, I don't know.
I'll tell you what, I did that recently just because I wanted. There was a certain Celtic Frost drum beat that I wanted. Not because I wanted to copy the music or anything. It was purely the drum beat, and nobody has a license on drum beats. But until I caught that. Until I caught that, you just said doof, 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 doof. It took me hours to program it, and but anyway. Oh, look, I mean, I could also understand that whole notion of, we were a 4-piece, we want to stay that way. I'm the last person. I'm the last person that doesn't understand that, but.
No, I will tell you from the bottom of my heart, I never, ever, from the day I started VOD to the day I left VOD, that thought or feeling or emotion never crossed my heart. Ever. Not once. Oh. Not fucking once. That I think, I'm a guitarist, I mean, the person who should have the most issue with another guitarist would be the guitarist, surely. I mean, come on. I never had that it never crossed my mind. I mean, metal, in those days that we were playing metal, the 99.99% of death metal bands had two guitarists.
Yeah.
Metallica, Exodus, you fucking name it. Just two guitarists. Anthrax, you name it. It was just, and VOD was always short because we never fucking had that. So
look, it was only Van Halen or whatever, Yeah.
Fuck, bro.
Whatever. Look, I mean,
I would say unless you're playing songs like, I'm not running down Tony Iommi and things like that, but songs like that of death metal nature, where you're relying on that other guitar to kick in, and then I go off on another riff or a rhythm, and you playing that rhythm. The structures of the rhythms are made for two guitars. You cannot possibly and even after the Bluetooth Feeder album. So if you do a song like Funeral, when the lead's going off, there's no guitar underneath. What's that going to sound like? It's going to sound fucking stupid. I mean, it's logic. It has nothing to do with guitar. It has to do with some fucking.
No, I don't know. I understand you. If you're going to release material like that, then you need to replicate that live. If you're going to go. One guitar heads off like, and another guitar underlines that with chords or whatever, or accents. Then you need to replicate that live.
You can play your Masterpiece with one guitar. You can play Trojan Horse with one guitar. You can play March of the Vod, Stormbringer with one guitar. All the songs was written for one guitar. You want to tell me you can do Religion as fucking heavy as it's supposed to be with one guitar? You can't. No. Even the Beast is Born. Maybe Beast is Born you can still pull off to a point.
Well, I had to.
Funeral.
I had to do that. I had to do that live.
Eh? Yeah, you look at Oppie Koppie, you had to do it with one guitar, and yeah, you can pull it off. But I'm trying to say is, it ain't gonna have the same impact.
No, it's not gonna have the same impact. No.
No fucking way.
But I mean, Oppie Koppie is another topic anyway. That was a very impromptu kind of setup anyway. I mean, we tried out. We tried out that.
The person who should have the issue with Oppie Koppie would say be me.
Okay? Yes, you. Yeah.
But I don't have an issue with it because look, I wasn't there, and the fact that you guys went to go and do it, wow! I mean, like I always said, VOD is not just about me; it's about a band. And if I'm not there, then Dickon wasn't there. And I mean, most people will say, how can you imagine VOD without Dickon's bass? I mean, really? Okay, yeah, he was fucking good, but yeah, and he filled up all the gaps and all that shit. Yeah. It's like, Exodus is made out of this guy, and this guy. Who the fuck is this guy? Come and play with him. And I'm like, fuck this. It's like, do you think France will listen to Manowar if, what's his name, the vocalist fucked off? No, he won't.
No,
because he's supposed to be in the band.
Yeah.
That's bullshit. A band is a larger thing than any of the one single people combined. It's a thing.
Look, at the end of the day, we tried our best to do this stuff. I was going to take up the challenge. I just figured, fuck it. Well, I would have much rather have us trading off parts and fucking blasting them away. Obviously, I think Adam, there were gaps.
Why did the American dude not play? What was his name again? He played with us.
Tom. No, he bailed out. I have no idea. And he would have done it. He was a good guitarist. I don't know why. No idea.
You guys should have got fucking Bong to play the bass, man.
Yeah, exactly. No, but I mean, I think aside from Paul and Francois, I think I had the strongest command of the songs. Yeah, and I was just trying to.
None of them be able to reproduce the songs.
No, but Greg, no shit. I was literally playing, and while I was playing, I was constantly thinking, emphasis this riff, emphasis this riff. It was constantly like I'm on a highway. Okay, left, right, left, right, left, right. Fuck, man. That kind of. So, but obviously. I tried to lean more towards your side because yours at that time was more of the carrying stuff, so. But
no.
Yeah, look, at the end of the day, I'm not sad I did it. It was cool. It was great. We had fun. What left a bit of a sour note was, maybe I shouldn't mention it. It's just something that got said. I was like, kind of, it was just weird. I don't know. But anyway. Yeah.
Well, you guys, never. Please hear what I'm saying. I don't have any.
No.
Any.
I have no doubts.
Never ever harbored any animosity or even double thoughts about. I was in England when they organised everything. Okay, so. I mean, I never thought about it twice. Like, oh my god, I'm pissed off. Fuck, and this is fucking bull. I mean, it never crossed my fucking mind. It's like, I mean, I wasn't there. Somebody else played. Fucking tough shit. I mean,
Gregory, I've now put on my dictaphone for an hour.
Dictaphone.
Yes, I'm going to. Yes, but I'm going to send it to you. Just think
you must have a very long penis to be able to capture our voices from that height.
Yes. No, I was just thinking of very innocently trying to capture our rant, but I will send it to you beforehand to censor, and but we'll be back. I just need to quickly empty my my bowels.
It's up to you, bro. I can go either way, so I'm gonna go fill up my beer glass. But I mean.
Yeah, you fill your glass, I will empty my vessels. No, so I'll send you the audio and you can cut.
I didn't know you had a dictaphone. I thought just put it on your.
Just a wild card shot here. I just figured, why not capture us raw? And,
yes, absolutely.
And
we call it rant and rave.
Yeah, and I just put up, and we start this thing of Greg and Johan ranting and raving. But I mean,
and then we invite Stu because he'll be keen on fucking. He's like big shit like this too. I mean, so whoever wants to fucking chat along. But here's a concept for you. Here's a dream for you. When you go to NAM eventually now, yeah, I am definitely going to try and join you there for a few days.
Ooh. Okay.
Because Natalie's never been to fucking Namibia. So for me,
it's like check it out.
And I haven't been back since I was in the fucking army, or maybe once when I was with VMweb. So but now, why don't we get like a backtrack thing, and we just do like not an unplugged gig, like a sit down fucking. We play like 2 or 3 VOD songs. We play some fucking Crowmaster songs, like 1 or 2. Just like a small group of friends party. It's not a gig. It's like I'm sure there'll be fucking some of the old friends who come along and just get pissed and have a good time.
Yeah, I'd have to get hold of some instrument there because I'm not going to schlep along my guitars. But yeah,
I can bring us guitars.
Something like that. Yeah.
I've got 2 guitars I can bring.
Something like that. Yeah.
If you don't mind playing, what the fuck is it? Ibanez or whatever.
I don't mind an Ibanez, no. I'm flexible.
Because I will play with a Warlock one.
No, you need an Iron Bird.
Iron Bird, that rings a bell.
Remember I had that black Iron Bird? Fuck, what a horrible guitar. And I sold it to David.
Where did you switch to upside down neck guitars? A lot of your guitars have got upside down necks. You're not left-handed, eh?
Oh, you mean the upright one, the pointing upwards?
Yes.
But that's ESP. A lot of the ESPs have that.
Okay.
I love the headstock pointing upwards for some reason. I love it. Except for Jackson's. Jackson isn't right. Jackson has to be down. Especially the V's. It has to point down. It's just.
They should have made me an ambassador for I don't want any guitar sponsor, but whenever all of them post new fucking guitars, and I just go rant about Jackson's the fucking greatest guitar.
Absolutely.
Jackson was made for metal. They were made for fucking metal.
Dude, I mean, you striking a nerve here now. I don't look. I love the Solar has a what's it called? A Strat version that has beautiful cutaways where your lead, in the wings there. But I don't like the headstock. I don't like the headstock on any of their guitars. I don't like it. Jackson's got the most.
I actually wanted to do a vlog the other day. I thought I'll just do like a 2-minute vlog of the most meanest metal headstocks. Yes, and obviously people are gonna. What's the fucking Pantera guitar that
the Dean? Yeah, no. Jackson has the best headstock of all.
Most aggressive fucking head.
And the only headstock that comes close is the Gibson Epiphone. That long, more like almost like a penis-y, which Dave Mustaine plays now, and it's only Gibson that comes next, in my opinion. And Ibanez, I've always hated Ibanez's headstock. It's just too straight. But
can you remember that time we played it at Cherries 2? Does that ring a bell?
Oh yes, somewhere, very distinctly.
That was in Pretoria. It was in the middle of a shopping centre. There was
yes, but we played with Metamorphosis.
No, we played with Strider. It was in Pretoria. It was played with Strider.
No, I never played with Strider with you guys. No.
It was in 1993. I still got the flyer.
No, then I wasn't part of it.
It was a Valentine's fucking thing, like a
not Strider.
Valentine's gig.
I can't recall Strider.
Well, I remember standing on that stage in that fucking place, and some dude headbanged into the fucking tip of my Jackson. Bro, it was so much blood. It was just
your Your Chauvel.
Yeah, the Chauvel. That sharp point, he head banged right into it. And it cut his fucking head open. It was just blood.
And might
blood.
I remind you, you still have a San Dimas Chauvel, which is like really, yeah.
Well, I don't know. I think mine was not actually made even in the US.
I think it was. So. I think it's oh man, it's a.
Look, I know the model. It's a 475 limited edition crackle rose finish. They only released them in 88 and 89. Those 2 years.
I think I think it's a
special limited edition 475.
Yeah, but it's the classic San Dimas model. Yeah.
I think it's the only time they brought out the active circuitry and all that crap. Which
beautiful guitar. Beautiful.
I don't even know if I actually used it. I mean, I only used the back pickup always on that. And then on the acoustic stuff like Black Cathedral, I used to just front. I never used mid or semi-mid or back.
That guitar just had a beautiful output. Lovely.
Except for the fucking battery that needed to be replaced all the time. That I remember.
I don't know. Greg, honestly, I've still got my Jackson, my Japanese copy here.
Yeah, but hang on.
I've never changed the battery. Never.
The Jackson that you had in Cape Town, you bought that Flying V.
No.
Didn't you have shit with the neck or something that it bent? Or
no, I first had that Ironbird, BC Rich, that I sold to David.
The Ironbird.
And then I had the Jackson which I bought off this German guy. We still know each other. He's a good friend of mine. And I had that equipped with EMGs, and to this day.
So you actually chopped but
dude, that battery in there is still, it's 100 years old, and that guitar, if I plug it in, the output on that guitar. Yes, I still have it. I still have it. And the output on it, if I put it in my ESP V, and if I compare the signals, man, I tell you, and any of these channels, what's his name? The guy that screams a lot. What's his name?
Davis?
No, the guitar guy.
That fucking guy. I can't watch him anymore.
Glenn Fricker, who always says like, oh no, it's not about the pickup, it's the speaker, and hold on. If I plug in my old Jackson, my God, the signal, the wavelength is just like, it is fucking attack.
But you told me a story a while back when you flew to Germany. One of your guitars got fucked up in the flight.
That's the old Jackson. The neck is bent, but it's bent. It's like the neck does a little sideways bend up towards the deeper notes.
Oh, it's twisted.
It's twisted. So your 1, 2.
Like a fixed right?
No, so your 1, 2, 3 frets have buzz. Your deepest lower frets have buzz. So I've de-stringed it. I've just left it now. It's history.
I always have a little bit of fun when I watch Ola because obviously let's think about it deeply now. Like, I mean, he's always trying to promote his own guitars, but he realized he has to review other guitars. So a few times that he's reviewed Jacksons or Chauvels or whatever. I always watch because I know he's gonna, because he's in his heart he wants to sell his solo guitars. So it's like a chat. It's not a challenge. It's like a conundrum for him in that way. But one thing he does say immediately is like the Jackson necks. You can work on that neck. I mean, fuck.
I tell you what.
There's no guitar that's got a better neck design than Jackson or Chauvel.
Exactly.
It's just like, I don't know what they did. They made it wider.
No, they're wider and they're C-shaped.
But narrower. And but it's not deep. Like you don't have a big fat neck. It's like
exactly. It's C-shaped. It's not an O-shaped. It's C-shaped. And Greg, you know me. I was the biggest. And funnily enough, I now own more ESPs than Jacksons. I used to have a US Jackson. I sold it. I was just not happy with it because it had a C neck. It was just kind of it just didn't feel right. I sold it. In retrospect, I shouldn't have sold it. Damn it, I shouldn't have. because it was an original Fort Worth, Texas fucking Jackson. But anyway, now
I can tell you one thing. The only downside I've had on Jackson is the weight.
No, they're fucking heavy. Yeah.
My guitar, I've shown every time I meet like Callum when he started playing guitar and somebody's friends start, I say, now pick up this guitar.
Yeah, but it's
that Jackson of mine weighs a fucking
it's resonance, mate. And
resonance. No, I said it. But for playing metal, it's not a very easy guitar to move around.
Yeah, I hear you. But I mean, I've played shows with. I've had to do shows with Arcana where my guitars, I had problems with my gauge and strings and especially Floyd Rose's in gigs where a buddy came up quickly and handed me his Les Paul, and I was like look, the Les Paul, it plays beautifully.
Gibson's got a nice neck. I like Gibson necks.
Look, those Les Pauls. That Les Paul I played for several shows in Namibia, and it plays beautifully, but it kills your back.
Yeah, it does.
It kills you.
Yeah.
And that was a.
I have played on a Gibson before.
That was an original, and
it's nice and short, and it's nice and narrow. So I don't have big hands. I can get my fingers around it, and that's one thing I struggled with the Chauvel. The neck's very wide.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a lot of gap between the strings, so you don't.
But I love that.
I love it too, because to this day, if I struggle on this, when I try and do triplets or like on this this guitar I've got now, I struggle there.
Yeah.
The moment I do it on my Jackson, my Chauvel.
No, because you just get noise, and
it doesn't have that.
I've got this. Greg, when I record, I've got this bit of foam. It's almost like a finger. You know those pool noodles?
Yes.
But this is like a miniature. It's like a finger. And when I record riff heavy stuff, I just prop this under my higher 3 strings, which deadens them. And I just record, and it's fucking clean. Because you get ring.
You know what?
You always get ring.
Before I send the guitar back with Stuart now and remind me, man, I was actually asked Stuart what the fuck's happening with the guitar. It's been a few months now.
Yeah.
But that guitar, I haven't changed the strings on that guitar since the reunion tour in 2009.
Mm.
And when Stuart took it, you strum that guitar, it's perfectly in tune.
Mm.
Same fucking strings. Now this is 2009 to 2024, it's 12 years later. You know what I mean?
And it had a battery.
Oh, the battery was fucked. I mean, it doesn't make
No. I mean, it had rephrase. It had a beating.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, yeah.
So,
and it doesn't go out of tune.
Mm.
I mean, I will, if I could choose a guitar, I will always choose a locking nut.
Yeah.
Guitar. I'd rather tune from the back, fine tune, than fucking try and fiddle with the fucking little knobbies on the front. Honestly, that is so fucking finicky.
That is why I'm so happy with my ESPV. I don't have a floating tremolo. It's just a lock. It's a fixed bridge. That's it. And I find I don't need a whammy. I don't need it.
That was the bitch of Floyd Rose's.
No, because it
took me years to get that right. The only time I got it right was when we were on the tour.
Yeah,
and I remember when we played in France in Marseille. I broke a string, and I surprised the fuck out of myself. I broke the string halfway through the song. You carried on. By the time the end of the song finished, because when normally on that Floyd Rose, if you break a string, the whole bridge is fucking right on that knife edge. It just goes, everything goes out of tune. But I had the springs and everything perfectly balanced. It just came straight back into fucking tuning. You know what I mean? Like, wow. Because that was a fucking nightmare I always had. You and I both never had the luxury when we play guitar.
It's a horror.
We had a second guitar backup, break a string.
No, we never had that. We never had that backup guitars. But it
was always my biggest fear at gigs. It's like it's the thing that I worried about the fucking most. And I found that old strings hardly ever broke, but the new strings, I don't know, always break.
But that's
I never put on new strings hardly ever. I don't like the sharp sound of new strings. It's too grr to me.
Yeah. The only part where I'll disagree with you is bass. It's amazing. I love the sound of new bass strings. They have that bit
but
of.
You know what?
They have that bit of.
It's a low frequency. You need that.
That clanginess.
Brightness.
Yes.
You need that.
Yes, exactly. And they lose. And it's amazing. I've tested this on my bass now because it loses clanginess about a week. You'll have that cut.
That's beautiful.
And suddenly it's gone.
You talk about bass guitars, and we talk about headstocks. Obviously, the bass guitar that's got the most fucking prominent headstock is the Rickenbacker. I mean,
no, it's not pretty, but
it's not pretty, but it's so distinctive.
It's distinctive. Once again, even with basses, I'm with Jackson. I love Dave Ellefson's bass. That classic. Fuck.
What bass have you got?
I've got a Dean. Actually, I've got a Dean. Yeah,
Jesus.
But I'm very happy with it. Fuck, man. I mean, that thing just delivers. It sits so comfortably. It's just sitting down. I'm obviously sitting down. You know, like I'm a sitting down musician. How scary is that? I'm not even playing.
Do you rest it on your beer belly?
I don't need a beer belly. I just need good legs. The V slides in your legs and your balls. you need to rest your nads on that fucking on that side there. And then when it rings, that vibration goes through your balls and it's good. Now, cheap as fuck, but man, it just does the trick.
Except for the strings, they're fucking expensive. Bass guitar strings are fucking ridiculous.
It wasn't that bad. No, it wasn't that bad at all. No. But what bugs me is, fucking hell, a week, you play it extensively, a week down the line, that clang is gone. And I love that overkill-ish, you know, but yeah, anyway, you can't have it all. But, look.
Yeah, I am an old habit person. To this day, and I actually, when you guys mentioned the other night, it's been like 30 years or 40 years, it's like, I thought, fuck, you're actually quite right. It's like 1986 to where we now, that's like 38 years or something. But I haven't changed my habits in the way that I cannot to this day play with any other plectrum than a Landstrom, the shark fin, the white one.
Oh wow! Okay.
You give me a Dunlop or any other plectrum, I just become like a baby. I cannot fucking play.
I've discarded shark fins a long time ago. I only use, but now, Greggy, without sounding elitist here, I've got a signature pick by Vinny Labella from Exorder. I've got a signature pick by Tommy Victor from Prong.
We must keep them, eh? You have to keep, because when we open our fucking metal pub in Swakopmund, we need them for display.
No,
but I tell you, I actually asked them the Darios because that's the other old habit I've got. The shark fin pickups, and the only strings I've ever put on my guitar were the Darios.
I used to play the Darios only, but I just don't find them anymore.
You can still get them. They're quite expensive, but I mean, they had that jazz set that was fucking heavy. Yeah, but very heavy bottom end.
Yeah, exactly. But in Namibia, I always bought it in South Africa, and now here it's just fucking only balls.
Yeah, everything's only balls. Yeah. I break only balls.
But I used to you break Ernie's balls, and
yeah.
No.
When we played at Woodstock, they gave us blank only balls.
Yeah, but you're right. But you're right. I remember coming back from SA to Namibia, and I used to always carry Dodarios. I still have the Dodario here, right in front of me. Here, fuck, I should send it further. I've got the Dodario lemon oil for the fretboard. Now that's probably something I took from Dickon. Just keep everything oiled.
No, I still had an old packet of Darius, and I've got some loose strings still of them. It used to be like a blue packet with an orange circle. It's an XXL or something like jazz. I mean, my bottom strings, my E, because remember we used to jump into D. So I would play,
fattest gauge.
58 or something like that. Like
fattest gauge, fattest gauge.
Yeah. The top strings I never bothered with because I hardly ever used the top strings. By the way, bro, it shows me how pathetic I am. To this day, for me, the top of the strings are the thin ones. The bottom strings are the heavy ones.
Yes.
That's right, eh?
Yeah.
Okay.
In my comprehension. But some guitarists call it the top strings the lower ones. In instructional videos, you'll get confused.
Yeah, because they're on top of the guitar.
I'm optically on top or note from a note on top.
Optically on top. On top, yeah. In my mind, top strings are the thinner ones.
The thinner ones, obviously. I'm referring to the notes, yes.
You know what I'm talking
Greg, do you know who I listened to? Do you know which band I listened to yesterday? A demo somewhere. Don't ask me where. Casual.
Oh yes.
Casual.
Yes.
I listened to it yesterday.
Casual. Yeah. Yes. No. Where did you find that? It's in a wild search or what?
No, because sometimes I send you this guy that does this punk, but modern punk stuff, or like not modern, but like contemporary, whatever. And there was a side link, and then I recognized the logo, and I was like, Casual. And I remember,
they're a Swedish band. They were.
Yeah. I remember that logo, but from early on, they were always.
Man, I had a shirt with Casual on. I'm fucking convinced I had a Casual shirt at some time.
I don't know, but
they were one of my favorite fucking bands. Look, they were very crossover thrashy in a way.
Yeah. But immediately I knew. Oh yeah. Well, that's like Scandinavian grind, whatever.
Yes.
Very cool. Loved it.
I'm amazed you came across that.
Yeah. But the main thing, what I wanted to say is, like, I remember you naming Casual as one of the bands that you dig.
Yes.
So.
Yes, they definitely Casual. They had a split with. They played with a friend of mine. He actually lives in South Africa now, called Johan, or it's spelled Goran, Goran Lind. Okay, Goran Lind was one of the first Swedish. Yeah, he was one of the first Swedish. What do you call it? Let's call it crust fucking punk for now. Okay, it wasn't called crust in 1984 or 1993, but he had a band called SOD, Stormtroopers of Death. Okay, and then he met up with Brett from Power Race Records in Durban, who was the South African. We recorded our first demo, not our first demo, but our first compilation, and he organized a gig for us in Durban. Power H, the band Power H from Power Noise Records, and Joran and him were always in pen pal sort of shit, and he moved to Durban and he started a band called SOD, like SA, Surf or Die they called it. And he fucking introduced me to like bands like Protest Bank and fucking Afskum and some of the heavier fucking. But Casual was one of the bands that came. I think that Casual.
Yes. No, but I had to think. I had to think of you, but not when I saw that. So.
Well, I'm glad you're listening to that shit.
I always watch this guy's channel because 90% of the stuff is like garbage, but now and then there's a real cool grind or D-beat band, and I dig it, and I always try and find new stuff, and then but he had Casual in there, so I figured, well, cool. I remember Casual. Greg used to mention them, so.
There were some big fucking guys in those days, like personalities, like a guy called Perv. I can't pronounce his name. Perv Thunel. He used to send me demo tapes and EPs from all the Swedish bands. I mean, he played in Protest Bank, Filthy Christians. yeah, he was involved with G-Anks and all this. But Filthy Christians was his big band, and Protest Bank. That was one of my favorite bands from that fucking time. I mean, they were big guys. They were like the equivalent of Motorhead or Lemmy to punk from those scenes in those days. They were, you know. You know what band you must listen to? I'm going to send you the link. Not a link, I'm going to send you. You're going to dig it.
Yeah, dude, I love really raw, D-beat fucking crust, man. That's my... I dig it.
Yeah, I'm going to send you D-beat. These guys were like... They were like the equivalent of Discharge. Not the equivalent, they were... In my mind, they were actually... Before Discharge even got bigger. But, no, I don't know. Different opinions. But this fucking band is incredible. If you like D-beat shit, they toured in America for years and years and years. Americans loved it. They were heavy. They were fucking heavy. Ascom. Blonja. Is the album they call Pantista. You must listen to that. Nathan, you know what I just ate now, bro?
No.
Nathan just made me a toasted
cheese and
red roe sandwich.
Toasted red roe.
Toasted red roe.
Oh, nice.
But what she doesn't realize, that red roe we've had now for fucking a month and a half. Red roe is supposed to eat within 5 days of opening. We're gonna have food poisoning tomorrow, bro. But it still tastes good.
I tell you one thing, Rick. Our little channel is gonna be very interesting.
Yeah, actually, I want to hear that because I think
I'll send it to you first.
We must do it.
It's hilarious.
We must do it. Yeah, look. I don't mind if we even do it on a Skype next time. Like,
but
I'll just
dude,
wait for something.
I miss Red Row.
Yeah, bro. When you come to South Africa, I'll probably.
It was so. I used to love it. Like just a bit of butter on the toast and then red roe on top.
Thick red roe, mate. Fuck! It's one of the most awesome fucking things ever made.
but you mentioned Pex and Chevette is dead, eh?
No. What happened is about a year and a half ago, they took, for some fucking unbizarre reason, because the young people, I guess, or the new people, the Africans don't dig their taste. So the anchovettes, that green one that used to get the green. Believe it or not, the red roe, and they were made by the same company. They just packaged it different.
Yeah, one is more premium, one is more whatever.
It's like the red, with the red Roman logo on. So then, I think I still sent you, said, I can't believe it, they've fucking taken red roe off the market. So that lasted like a year and a half, and then literally about beginning of this year, suddenly red roe's back. You know, obviously enough people had fucking moaned. So I said, how the fuck are you removing? It's like removing fucking wheat bix from South Africa. You know what I mean? It's like you can't do that.
Well, they didn't get Creoles back on the shelves for a long time.
Yeah, believe it or not, this is the unwritten truth. It's like Natalie's dad used to work for a company that made those chips. So they made the first Flanagans in South Africa, and he used to be like a sales. Yeah, they actually came up with the whole fucking concept. No man, Natalie. My favorite chip, which was my smelly push chips. What do you call it?
Creoles.
What's it? Creoles. I mean, fuck. When I used to drive back from gigs or DJing Raffles, I used to have like 10 packets of them.
Smelly puss chips.
Yeah. Fuck, they just tasted so fucking awesome, man. And people hated the smell of it. Like,
I know.
I couldn't give it.
Anyone that I had around me was like, "Oh God, you smell terrible, dude."
Those little blue packets with the little.
Yeah.
I mean, they were. And then they fucking took them off the market.
I just couldn't.
Why? It was such a fucking nice chip.
Dude, I couldn't believe it either. I was just like, how the fuck can you take this off the market? We like, it fulfills two purposes. It gets rid of the people I hate, and it fulfills my taste. Fuck you, man.
I did it the last year. I started eating clove of garlic every day because you know what? I'm tired of people saying, "Oh, Greg, you smell like fucking shit" or whatever. When I eat Creoles or I eat fish paste or I fucking eat garlic, nobody moans.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's it. But
it masks all the smell.
But a clove of garlic is supposed to do wonders.
I don't do it anymore, but yeah, it's supposed to be good for. It's like an antibiotic, natural antibiotic.
Yeah.
Especially for throat and for fucking teeth.
They say.
And crap. Yeah, whatever. See, honest. Are you gonna really release that fucking thing? You crazy?
No, I'll send it to you first.